You know, when you watch a brilliant stage play, the dialogue just flows so perfectly.
Yeah, you almost forget it was written. It feels completely spontaneous.
Right, exactly. But the truth is, every single pause, every breath, every word is part of an invisible script. The actors aren't improvising, they are executing this highly rehearsed plan.
And, well, welcome to today's deep dive,
Mhm.
because we are going to show you that professional English is honestly exactly the same.
It really is. We've fed our AI this massive stack of sources, so behavioral psychology journals, HR hiring playbooks, and linguistic analyses of corporate communication, just to uncover how this really works.
It's a perfect metaphor, really.
Mhm.
We often look at native speakers or, highly fluent professionals and think they are just effortlessly improvising their way through these high-stakes situations.
Like they just have this natural gift.
Right, but they aren't. They are relying on specific linguistic structures that basically signal competence to the listener.
Exactly. And if you are listening to this, especially if you're a non-native speaker or just someone stepping into a high-pressure corporate setting, you have probably felt this immense, crushing pressure.
Oh, absolutely.
You mistakenly believe everyone else is just naturally gifted at this while you're scrambling to find the right words. But our mission today is to uncover those invisible scripts.
We're going to reveal the exact formulas, the structures, and phrases that level the playing field.
Right, empowering you to navigate the highest stakes interactions with total confidence.
Because at the end of the day, effective communication isn't just about flawless grammar. I mean, it's about mechanics.
Yeah.
It's about making the other person feel heard, understood, and fundamentally confident in your abilities. You are managing their cognitive load.
Okay, let's unpack this. We're going to build a complete toolkit for two critical and frankly terrifying arenas.
Very terrifying.
Yeah, the high-pressure job interview and the equally nerve-wracking world of professional small talk.
Small talk is the worst for so many people.
Oh, it really is. But starting off with the formal interview, to succeed here, you have to realize that interviewers aren't just listening to your words. Their brains are actively searching for specific narrative structures.
That's right. And if you don't give them that structure, they just tune out. Let's look at the classic first question. Tell me about yourself.
Which is a massive trap. People hear that and immediately start giving these chronological life stories.
Oh, yeah. The high school graduation story.
Exactly. They start from high school, meandering through literally every job they've ever had. Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that because the interviewer's brain is trying to figure out why you matter to them right now.
Yeah.
The psychological fix here is the present, past, future formula.
Okay, so how does that work?
You start with where you are now, then move to a relevant past highlight to prove your competence, and finish with why you are here for this specific role.
Oh, wow. So you are tying your entire history directly to their immediate needs.
Precisely.
So instead of a 10-minute autobiography, you might say, I'm currently a marketing manager doing content strategy. That's the present.
Right.
Before that, I spent 4 years in a PR agency working with tech clients. There's the past.
Uh-huh.
Now I'm looking to move into a strategic role where I can work more closely with product teams, which is exactly what drew me to this position. And that's the future. It's so much cleaner.
It is. It anchors your ambition directly to the company.
And it brings us right to the next trap, the classic, what are your greatest strengths?
Oh, this one is tough.
Yeah, because listing adjectives here without proof is like showing a movie trailer with absolutely no footage, just a black screen with giant text saying it's a great movie.
Right. You can't just call yourself a dynamic team player.
Exactly.
Because adjectives without evidence just trigger skepticism. You need the formula here. Name the strength, give an example, and connect it to the role.
Okay, can you give an example of that?
Sure. You could say, my strength is communicating complex information clearly. In my last role, I regularly presented technical updates to non-technical stakeholders.
Nice, so there's the evidence.
Exactly. And then you connect it. I think that skill would be highly valuable here, given the cross-functional nature of this team.
Wow. You aren't just claiming greatness, you're proving how your greatness solves their specific, immediate problem.
Yes.
Now for the truly terrifying one. What are your weaknesses? If you're listening to this, you've probably felt that sheer panic of trying to pick a weakness that doesn't actually make you look weak.
The fake weaknesses.
Yes. Please, I'm begging you, do not use the fake "I work too hard" or "I'm a perfectionist" weakness. It's so transparent and frankly annoying.
Interviewers see right through it, and it costs you trust immediately. What they actually want is to see a redemption arc.
A redemption arc.
Yeah, they want to know you possess self-awareness and agency.
Yeah.
So the formula is share a real weakness, describe the action you took to fix it, and provide evidence of improvement.
So you're essentially turning a potential liability into a case study of how you solve problems.
Exactly. So
Hmm.
you might admit, I historically find it challenging to delegate. I recognize this, so I implemented a structured handoff process.
Right.
Since then, I've seen my team successfully take on significantly more ownership.
That is brilliant. That shows you don't just identify problems, you actively fix them, which perfectly sets up the next hurdle. Um, why do you want to work here?
Yeah, this question exists strictly to separate the people who did their homework from the people who didn't.
So no generic
No,
answers.
generic answers like, you're an industry leader, those destroy your chances. You need to name a specific company detail, connect it to your values, and explain why this role makes sense right now.
Okay, so for instance, I've been following your work in sustainable packaging and closed-loop design.
Perfect specific detail.
That philosophy aligns with the work I want to do, and using my supply chain background to lead your supplier relationships feels like a natural next step.
Exactly. You are proving you are invested in their specific reality. Then you'll inevitably get, tell me about a challenge you faced.
Ah, right. This is where the famous STAR method comes in. Situation, task, action, result.
Yes. You're organizing your own panic into a logical sequence.
Right. So you explain, halfway through a product launch, our primary vendor pulled out. Within 48 hours, I mapped secondary options, negotiated transparently with them, and we launched on schedule.
And the result.
Ultimately, that new vendor turned into a strong long-term partner.
Notice the focus on I, not we, and the measurable result at the end. The interviewer is literally trying to write down evidence of your competence.
And the STAR method basically hands them the notes they need.
Exactly. Which leads to the forward-looking question, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
That one is always tricky. You want to sound ambitious,
You
right?
do, but you need to sound fundamentally grounded, too. The formula is growth direction plus skills you want to develop plus how this role fits.
So you say something like, I'm aiming for senior leadership where I can build a team. I want to develop deeper expertise in data-driven decision-making, which is something this specific role accelerates.
Perfect.
Mm.
Let's look at how this plays out in reality. Think about a candidate. Let's call her Aiko.
Okay.
She prepared for 6 weeks. She was incredibly nervous, staring at her notes, worried she wouldn't find the right words under pressure.
But when she got into the room and was asked, tell me about yourself, her training kicked in. She didn't ramble.
No, she used the present, past, future structure.
Right. And when asked for a weakness, she gave a real one with that redemption arc.
And when asked why she wanted to work there, she didn't flatter them with vague compliments. She mentioned a specific initiative they had just launched.
You could actually see the interviewer's posture relax. I mean, her 5-year ambition didn't sound like bragging. It sounded earned.
Because she had given them the exact narrative structures their brains were unconsciously looking for.
Okay, so Aiko gets past the gauntlet of standard questions. What happens when the interview shifts and they ask you to literally pitch yourself against everyone else?
Like when they ask, why are you the best candidate for this role?
Exactly.
This is an explicit invitation to make a direct case for yourself. Don't be modest here. The formula is your unique combination of skills plus evidence plus their specific need. You are synthesizing everything you've discussed.
Like saying, I have a rare combination of technical depth and communication ability.
Yeah.
I can sit comfortably between the engineering teams and the executive teams, which matches exactly what you've outlined in the job description.
Exactly.
But wait, I hear these formulas and they sound great in a vacuum. But let me push back here for a second.
Sure.
Honestly, if I'm sitting across from a hiring manager and my mind goes entirely blank, or they ask a question I know absolutely nothing about, having a scripted formula is going to make me panic more because I forgot my lines.
Right, that happens.
Doesn't this level of scripting make you brittle when things go wrong? Do you just try to fake it?
No, absolutely never fake it.
Mm.
Bluffing is a fatal error because if they catch you, your credibility goes to zero.
Okay, so what do you do?
You use what we call graceful navigation. The formulas aren't rigid prisons, they are safety nets. If you blank, the language you use to handle that gap shows your emotional intelligence.
Oh, I see.
You simply say, could I take a moment to think about that? It shows you are thoughtful, not rattled.
And if it's a gap in experience?
If there's a genuine experience gap, you say, I learn quickly in practice. Intellectual honesty is incredibly appealing to a hiring manager. They want to know how you act when you don't know the answer.
That makes total sense. And then the tables turn. They ask, do you have any questions for us?
Never, ever say, no, I think you've covered everything. That is a massive red flag.
Really? Even if they did cover a lot?
Yes, because it shows a complete lack of curiosity about the place you're supposedly desperate to work at.
So what should you ask?
Ask things like, what does success look like at the 6-month mark? Or what are the biggest challenges the team is facing right now? Or even ask about the day-to-day culture.
What about things to avoid?
Conversely, avoid asking about salary in the first round, avoid yes or no questions, and absolutely avoid asking anything that is easily found on their website.
I also love using what we call elevating phrases throughout this entire process.
Oh, those are great.
Yeah, these are little linguistic polishers that give your answers a sophisticated sheen. Phrases like, that's a great question, or what that meant in practice was, and that's really shaped how I approach this now.
It just makes you sound so incredibly composed.
It really does.
And just as there are elevating phrases, there are quiet mistakes. Subtle phrasing choices that secretly undermine you.
Like what?
Saying "to be honest" is a
Yeah.
big one. It unconsciously implies to the listener that you might have been lying or holding back earlier.
Oh, wow. I never thought about that.
Another one is saying, I just want to, it diminishes your intent. You should always remove the word just. And constantly asking, does that make sense? At the end of every sentence is a disaster.
Wow. Does that make sense?
Right?
Such a common crutch. You think you're checking for understanding, but you're actually asking for validation?
Exactly. It signals deep self-doubt and makes the interviewer doubt you too.
That is wild.
What's fascinating here is how the absolute beginning and the absolute end of the interview carry a disproportionate amount of weight in human psychology.
The primacy and recency effect, right?
Yes, the first and last 2 minutes define the entire impression.
So instead of just, I'm fine, how are you? You open with intention. I've been looking forward to this conversation.
And you close by asking, is there anything we've discussed where you find it helpful for me to give more context?
It's incredibly powerful. Take the story of a candidate named Priya. She used the STAR method flawlessly to demonstrate her competence. But more importantly, when hit with a curveball question she didn't expect, she didn't panic or babble. She literally sat in silence for a few seconds to think, demonstrating that intellectual honesty we talked about.
Which is exactly what you want to do.
And at the end, she asked a unique question about the team's culture that actually made the panel laugh.
She broke the tension.
She did, and she received the offer 3 days later. She nailed the formal interview. Congratulations.
Brings us to zooming out from Priya's specific story to reveal the full blueprint she used. Let's synthesize the complete 12-technique arsenal here.
Let's do it.
Okay, so number 1, tell me about yourself using present, past, future. Number 2, strengths. Name the strength, give an example, and connect it to the role.
Right, keeping it totally grounded.
Yep. Number 3, weaknesses, a real weakness, what you did about it, and evidence of improvement. Number 4, why this company's specific knowledge, values alignment, and why now.
So those first 4, they're really your foundation, establishing psychological safety.
Absolutely. Moving on. Number 5, challenge question, using STAR, situation, task, action, result. Number 6, 5-year plan growth directions, skills, and how this specific role fits.
Moving from who you are to how you execute.
Right. Number 7, best candidate, your unique combination, evidence, and their specific need. Number 8, difficult questions, having phrases ready for gaps, unknowns, and redirects, like Priya's pause.
So crucial. Just having that script ready saves you.
Number 9, questions to ask, 5 questions that actually impress interviewers. Number 10, elevating phrases, language that makes every answer sound more polished.
Removing the verbal clutter.
Yeah. Number 11, what not to say, avoiding the quiet mistakes that undermine strong candidates. And finally, number 12, opening and closing, the moments that define the impression.
The primacy and recency bookends.
So, what does this all mean for you listening right now? It means that feeling natural in an interview is a myth. The structure is totally repeatable.
Exactly. Professional English is learnable, the structure is repeatable, and true confidence really comes from knowing both of those things. You are more prepared than you think you are.
You really are. So just to wrap up today's deep dive, we got on quite a journey here. From mastering those critical first and last 2 minutes, to watching Priya use this framework to land her dream job, to laying out the complete 12-step blueprint.
And if there's one thing to remember, it's that preparation beats panic every single time.
Every time. And I want to leave you with a final thought to chew on today. Because if job interviews are ultimately just exercises in structured, confident storytelling, well, what other high-stakes conversations in your life could completely transform if you applied this exact same 12-step blueprint?
Oh, that's a great point.
Right. Like think about pitching a new project or negotiating a raise or even, resolving a conflict. If you use this structure, what could you accomplish? Something to think about.